Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. It is towards the end of the day after I filmed this video and I realized I never filmed an intro. So at least you can see how this makeup held up, which was very well. But I am doing my second installment of a Do I Still Love Them Now type of video. I did this one in the spring where I took 3 months of the spring. I think I did March, April, and May. And I went back to last year, saw products that were in my favorites videos that showed up in my description box as on my face in multiple videos that I talked about in tutorials about loving, and see if I still love them now. So that's what I did for the summer edition. So I took June, July, and August, saw my faves and what I was talking about a lot, and I put together this face for you to let you know, do I still love the products? Do I still use them? Do they make their way to the back of my drawer, or are they still on heavy rotation? So this is the look that I came up with, so let's go ahead and get started. For foundation, when I went back and looked at my videos, I used this in a playing with K-Beauty video where I did a full face of K-Beauty makeup, and then I also had it on in quite a few of the videos that I did where I wasn't like doing makeup. I was talking about something else, and I would look down at the description box and see that this was on my face in some form or fashion. And I'm talking about the Unleashia Compact Foundation. So this is a K-Beauty product, and this is the original Satin Wear Healthy Green Cushion, which is the one that I talked about and wore in all of those videos. However, since then they have come out with a blue cushion and a pink cushion. So the difference lies mainly in the finishes and the ingredients included. Like some have niacinamide, some have like rose damask extract, that kind of thing. So you can kind of look and see which one is best suited for you. But an overall consensus is that this one has a according to the information online, this one has a semi-matte finish, this one is more luminous, and this one kind of falls in between. So this, again, is the original that I absolutely fell in love with. When I say it's a cushion, it's really not. The liquid is in the compact. You press a button and it comes out of these holes right here in the middle of the compact. This is in the shade 27W. I have 25N in the pink and 23W in the blue. Just because, you know, I wanted to make things complicated. Green is a little dark on me right now. The blue is a little light. So I think what I'm going to do is mix the two by just pressing the product, and then I'll mix it on the back of my hand. You don't need a lot of this. One kind of pump of the compact is going to give you enough for a full face, in my opinion. It does come with puffs that you are meant to press the foundation into your skin with. I personally prefer a brush, so that's what I'm going to use today. I already have a little bit of corrector on underneath my eyes, so I'm just going to apply this like I normally would with the foundation. The reason I love this so much is because of just the finish on the skin in general, but also the longevity. It is incredibly bulletproof. As far as still loving it, I 100% still love it. It is still my favorite K-Beauty complexion product that I have tried thus far. I have had a lot of requests to do a tier compact review. I don't know if that's still relevant because I know everybody and their mother, I feel like, has put up a review of that foundation. I do have it. In fact, I had it and was using it before it went viral. I think I'm in the minority because I do not think it's the end-all be-all of foundations. Sometimes it looks great on my skin, sometimes it doesn't. But if y'all still want a separate video on that, I can do that. Again, I just don't know if it's really relevant anymore because so many people have done one. Still have quite a bit of product on my hand. The reason there's this much left is because I did mix the two. So technically I had 2 pumps on my hand. Again, you only need one. Solid coverage, really pretty finish. Yes, I still love this. As far as concealer goes, probably not gonna be surprised, but I think every single video that I posted, I was wearing this concealer, if not 90% of them. The Chantecaille Future Skin Gel Foundation, which I absolutely love as a concealer. This is no surprise. This is in the shade Vanilla. This is still my favorite concealer. I have a solid top 5 favorites that I love and try to rotate to or through so that I don't only wear this. But if I had to choose, it is still the one that wears the best under my eyes. Despite the fact that it's marketed as a foundation and not a concealer, it just is near flawless. It is not as high coverage as a lot of my concealers, but I've said it many times and I will continue to say it. The older I get, the less I care about coverage and the more I care about wear. I just want it to sit nice and wear nice and not crease and crack, and this one is just the nicest wearing one that I have in my collection. Again, I have some very close second, third, fourths, and fifths, but it still ekes out at number 1. For powder, I had a couple. The Heimish setting powder, which I just recently used in a Shop My Stash, was a favorite of mine. And also I did a video of one of my favorite base combinations that included the Glow Skin Mattifying Primer and the Glow Skin Beauty Pressed Base. So I'm going to use that, even though this is technically a powder foundation, I'm going to use it as a setting powder today, which you can definitely do. I do still love this. I have loved this for years. I love a powder foundation, y'all. I just love a powder foundation. This is in the shade Honey Light. And I'm just going to take my Anissa multi-use powder brush and press that in. This is not a matte powder foundation. So if you're someone who is scared of trying a powder foundation because you think it's going to mattify your skin because of the word powder, this clearly does not. In comparison to my beloved Jane Pure Pressed, this is a little bit glowier than that one. So if you have that one, it'll give you an idea. But it definitely has enough coverage to be used on its own, but it's not so heavy or too much coverage to where you can't use it like I just did, setting it over top another liquid foundation. For bronzer, I had a couple of bronzers that showed up more than once. The Jones Road Gel bronzers I talked about in a favorites video. I used it in a tutorial. I do really like those. However, my youngest daughter really likes them too and has confiscated them from my room. So I don't have that one anymore. However, it's still beautiful and clearly more than one person in my house loves it. The other one is a bronzer that I continue to talk about all the time, so you know that I still love it and I'm gonna use it today, and it's the Pat McGrath Labs Skin Fetish Divine Bronzer in Bronze Dawn. You can see how much I love it, how much pan has been hit. Despite the drawer full of bronzers I have, this is still one of my very favorites. I'm gonna use just a little mini Real Techniques multitask brush. I washed all my brushes yesterday and I hate clean brushes. Using them on myself, it's always that first day. They never work as well as when they have a little bit of product on them. But I'm gonna use this just to bronze up my skin a little bit. This is a warmer bronzer for sure. And again, clearly I still love it considering the amount of pan that's been hit and the amount of options that I have to choose from. For blush, one that showed up more than once was the Dior Rosy Glow in Rosewood. And I think it's because I got this in July of last year, and when I got it, I used it all the time for like the first 2 months. I love this as a blush. I love this as an eyeshadow. So I've used it multiple times both ways. Today I'm going to use it as a blush because I am going to be going a little bit cooler on the eyes. This is going to look beautiful. However, this is a blush, in my opinion, that goes with cool and warm looks. So if you're someone who doesn't want to question whether or not they're choosing the right blush, this is a great one to add. And no surprise on the highlight, I often, very often, had a Merit highlight in my description box. This is in the shade Bounce, which is more of the rose gold shade. I've talked about these endlessly. Clearly, I still absolutely love them. They are more of a tacky type of formula. So if you're someone who wants something to really set down like a powder finish, this is not it. I don't find my hair sticks in it, but it doesn't completely set down throughout the day and does leave a little bit of tack on the face. However, I don't mind that and always love the effect that this gives on my skin. So far, everything that I have used, I still very much love and very much use on a regular basis a year later. Let's go ahead and jump into eyes. This is a palette that I used in a tutorial and showed up in a favorites. The Matte Connect and Color eyeshadow palette in Unfiltered Nudes. I use this in a cool tone makeup look tutorial. It was a look, I think the name of the video was like my go-to look lately, and this was it. I got a lot of positive feedback from that look. It's a very pretty, truly cool tone palette with a few warm options, and that's basically these two shades right here. This one is Uninterrupted, which is one of my favorite, like mustard yellow, beautiful shades. And Sonic Chocolate right here has a little bit more warmth as well, but the remaining colors, oh, and this gold shade, but the remaining colors are more in the cool, neutral undertone families. So I am going to, I think, do an all matte look today. I'm gonna start out with Wedge, which is just a staple crease color from the MAC line of shadows. And I'm gonna put that on my Rephr 27 brush. Create a crease with that. Guess what? It's gonna be a really simple eye look. I know you're so surprised. I'm gonna take a flat brush, a Rephr number 2, and I'm gonna go into this shade called, I think I'm gonna do Cozy Gray. I don't think I've used this shade yet. This is a matte gray shade. It's a little bit lighter, so it would be great for, oh yeah, I like that shade. The lid. Man, I really like that shade. Why have I not used this shade? I don't know if all of these are available in singles. I want to say not, but MAC has changed so much. Like discontinuing my favorite lipstick, I'm still so bitter about that. But they have changed so much that maybe they are all included. This one is worthy of a single, in my opinion. I really like that shade. And then I'm going to take, I said an all matte look, but I think what I'm going to do is go in with Satin Taupe, which I know is a single right here. It's a little bit of a satin shade. I'm going to take it on my Rephr 1 brush and just use that to slightly darken the outer corner. I don't want anything to be overly smoky or obvious. I really just want it to be a slight darkening. And this is so satin that it's not going to show up like shimmery on the eye. It almost comes off as a matte when I use it this way. Did I mention I like the Cozy Gray shade? Because I really do. Then I'm going to see, where is my, there it is, Rephr liner brush. 29, best liner brush ever to hit the market. And I'm going to go in with Give Me Cyberspace, this super dark chocolatey brown, and just use that as a liner. And I'm going to take a 13 mini, go back into Cozy Gray, and use that for a very subtle shadow under the eye. I obviously don't keep mascaras open for more than a year, more than really like 4 to 6 months. So I don't have the one that I use the most. I feel like I saw my Lawless mascara show up a lot in that time frame of filming. But again, I do not have that anymore. So I'm just gonna use the mascara that I'm using right now, or at least one of them, because I do have multiple ones open. And it is the brand new Jane Iredale Lash Fixation Tubing Mascara. So I will show you obviously what this looks like, but for sake of time, I'll do it off camera. I did do a reel of this on Instagram so you can see what it looks like with 1 coat versus 2 coats versus none. But for sake of time and repetition, I'm gonna do this off camera and I'll be right back to finish off with lips. As is the case with most tubing mascaras, I get more length out of this than I get volume. The Beyond Lash definitely gives me more volume, but I wore this yesterday for the first time and I loved it. It absolutely did not smudge at all. And it's one of the easiest tubing mascaras to remove. I mean, tubing mascaras as a whole are meant to be easy to remove, but this one, very, very easy. I wore the Lawless Forget the Filler Definer Liner quite a bit in this time period, so I'm going to use Pink Slip, which is probably the one that I like the most. To be fair, I'm not a huge lip liner person. On an everyday basis, I don't wear them. However, during this time period, in videos at least, I wore them quite often. So this one is more of a pinky, kind of like with a purple undertone. Pink Sand, I think, is different a little bit. And then, hands down, the one that was almost in every video was Wayne Goss Gloss in Tulip. It is one of my favorite nude glosses. It has since been dethroned as my #1 to a City Lips gloss. However, if I am wanting to top a lipstick with something, this is what I go for. The City Lips I tend to use on its own unless it's the clear one. And so I topped this on top of lipsticks. I used it by itself. It is just a very pretty milky nude shade. It's a gloss. It's not going to last forever. It certainly doesn't last as long as my City Lips, but I love the shine. I love the feel. I love the color. I love it. This is my second one that I have gone through, and I only have just right down here that much left. So I'm going to need to repurchase that sooner than later. Now, as far as scent goes, most definitely my Kiss Delicia de Marshmallow was one that I talked about more than once. This is one of my favorite sweeteners for other scents. I will use this by itself, but I love combining this with stronger florals or stronger ambers like MFK Grand Soie. I love those two mixed together. So I use this quite a bit. Now, Kiss is an indie house, and I sometimes think they have trouble keeping up with stock. So I will see if I can find this somewhere. I don't have this on today because I am filming a live tonight with Abby, and we're going over Ormond Jane. So I have one of those on, but it definitely is still a favorite, and I will link that down below if I can find it. So thank y'all so much for watching. I still love and adore every single product that I used. I love filming these videos. I'm really looking forward to doing the fall one because fall makeup is just my favorite. So stay tuned for that, but hopefully you enjoyed this one. Be sure and like and subscribe before you leave so you don't miss out on any future videos. And I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day.